Hey, good morning, seniors. Welcome back. It's day 3B for Unit 3. We're going to do some practice with demand and the law of demand, hopefully clear up any confusions that might yet be lingering. So for your do now, you should have had an opportunity to begin Unit Packet page 10, a couple of practice problems. We'll go over those in a second. And then your main activity for today is a gallery walk, practice the demand shifts. And for your homework, a quiz on Schoology to practice some more and hopefully clear up any more confusions that might yet exist. So here we go. Review day of 1 and 2. So what causes demand to change? We'll continue to identify, draw, and explain how demand changes by looking at these different scenarios and then explain them by identifying which of the non-price factors is causing that change in demand. Standards-wise, ties into both the first two standards here, the law of demand and the shifters, and our assessment will be on Friday, March 29th. All right, let's take a look at the do now. Problem number 1 should look something like this. We've got two products, salad and salad dressing. If the price of one goes up, the demand for the other one is going to decrease because they are complements. And so we show that with our demand decrease. Both of our lines are labeled, our axes are labeled, and we explain it by identifying the non-price factor, a change in the price of complements. For number 2, looks a little bit different. We're working with just one product. Price goes down, so that's a change in quantity demanded, and so we can illustrate that price decrease, quantity demand increase, and movement down the curve. Remember, movement down the curve is actually a quantity demand increase. So take a moment, make sure you got both of those correct and that you understand them. And so for the next activity, we're going to do a demand practice gallery walk. In the unit packet on pages 11 to 13, you have several blank graphs. You're going to take those graphs, you're going to read a scenario, and you're going to discuss that scenario and identify what is happening, and then you're going to graph and explain that change in the packet on pages 11 to 13. And so you can pause the video, take a look at those exercises, practice them, work together and see if you can figure them out, and then resume the video and I will go over each of the answers. Good luck. Alright, let's take a look at the answers together. And for number 1, we always have P and Q and draw our demand curve. And so Henry has a salary increase. If there's a salary increase, that's going to increase our demand for goods and services. And so we show that demand increase. And the explanation is a change in consumer income. Remember that graphic organizer, the Venn diagram that we had? You can go through each of those 6 non-price factors and sort of do a process of elimination. If it doesn't seem right, then cross it off, go on to the next one. So it's nothing to do with substitutes, nothing to do with complements, nothing to do with numbers of consumers, but change in income. That was one of your 6 non-price factors, so that fits perfectly for this scenario. All right, number 2. The price of tea increases while the price of coffee stays the same. And so what happens to the market demand for coffee? And so we got to remember here we've got 2 products, tea and coffee. The relationship between the two is we should identify that they are substitutes. You buy one and not the other one. You don't buy them both together. And so if the price of tea goes up, we don't want to buy it, we want to buy coffee. So we'll have another demand increase, and the reason is a change in the price of substitutes. Number 3. Here we have a new study. Oftentimes news reports or scientific studies are released with information about a good or a service, and that might affect our demand for it as consumers. And so in this case, let's say that blueberries lead to high cholesterol. So what happens to the demand for blueberries? Well, I don't want to buy blueberries if they cause high cholesterol, so that's going to create a demand decrease for blueberries. And the reason would be taste and preferences. We no longer prefer to purchase blueberries because of this new study that comes out. Number 4. The U.S. government expands immigration policies. So here it sounds like we're talking about population shifts, talking about numbers of people, sounds like numbers of consumers. And so if there's greater numbers of people coming in, that's going to create a demand increase for goods and services. And so demand increase and the non-price factor would be a change in the number of consumers. Number 5, here we're looking at peanut butter and jelly. And we have peanut butter increases by $1.50 and the impact on the demand for jelly. So don't be thrown off by this $1.50 price change, right? That doesn't matter in this particular instance because we have two products. The relationship between the two is that they are complements. You buy one and the other at the same time. So if we buy if peanut butter increases in price, we don't want to buy that, so we're not going to buy jelly either. So that creates a demand decrease, and that is a change in the price of complements. And number 6. Now we haven't done one like this yet. We identified this non-price factor, but you haven't yet seen a scenario with it. So take a close look at this. We know that televisions is the good or service here, and they go on sale on Black Friday. Black Friday is November, but right now it's the middle of September. So what happens right now to the demand for televisions? And so we have to be thinking about a future price change. In the future, we expect the prices of televisions to go down. And so how does that impact our demand right now? If it's going to be cheaper in the future, we're going to wait and hold off on that purchase. So we'll purchase it later. Right now we have a demand decrease, and we call this consumer expectations. Remember, what do consumers expect to happen to the price in the future? In this case, we expect the price to go down, so that's going to be a demand decrease. And the last one, number 7, Gatorade raises its prices on a 16-ounce beverage. What happens to the demand for 16-ounce Gatorade drink? So we're working with the same product here. It's Gatorade, same size product, but here we have a price increase. And so there's no change in demand. This is going to be a change in quantity demanded. So we're going to have P1, Q1, and we have a price increase. So we have P2, and we can see that quantity 2 will be here. And so with that price increase, quantity demand decrease, and that's going to create movement up the demand curve as a result of this change in price. So there you have it, numbers 1 through 7. Make sure that you have a correct set of answers and that you understand those, and then we'll move on with supply again tomorrow. One last opportunity to practice the quiz on Schoology. As always, let me know of any questions, and good luck. See you tomorrow.